Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with Dylan and Akram. For this episode, we are giving you our thoughts on Silo Episode 9, now out on Apple TV+. Make sure to like and leave a comment if you like this video. Make sure to subscribe also. But Akram, continuing with Silo, it seems like Juliette is getting closer to the truth. We got some exposition on Sims. So what do you think of this episode?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like for sure they got there. What can I say? I mean, the show's about to end. We're at a point where we need to know the truth about what's outside. This gives a little tease of that. They actually get to see the footage that Allison has seen. And so I'm like, whoa, that's pretty big. But also, we figure out that Sims has a family. That's interesting because I think that adds a new type of complex scenario to everything. It's like everybody has their own family. I think in that way, Juliette can somehow pull on Sim's like softer side, if anything. And also his wife seems pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. She did like help her out to escape a little later. But all in all, we'll talk about that fully. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. So we see what's on the hard drive finally, and it's actually George, his last words, his final memoir. And I thought it was interesting too that they've never, they've seen like the fake, was it the cafeteria display, but they never actually seen like a video per se. They didn't even know like what a video was. So I thought it was interesting that George was able to produce that on this hard drive. And it's kind of like his final word, his final goodbye to Juliette, right? And Billings in this episode, he has like a bit of a change of heart almost. It seems like he's kind of realized, well, I don't know, because he burned the book.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I hated that shit. I really did. Yeah.
He's so like, I don't know, schizo or something. It's like he can't make up his mind. Like, is he for the pack? Is he for like true justice? I can't understand like what his mindset is.
He's probably, I mean, obviously, I understand. It's difficult because he has that syndrome that they talk about. I'm not sure which one, but he has that syndrome. And I think he has good intentions, but I think... I think it comes down to like justice is blind type of scenario, but I think he's more of this type of non-human like robot when it comes to justice, rather than actually looking at problems in a human way. And I think that's a big issue.
I think he's like that. What do they call it?
Mordecai.
Like lawful... or like lawful good or like chaotic good, whatever. It's like he's like that by the books kind of justice, whereas Juliette is kind of like the morality, right? What the actual what the justice is supposed to protect, right?
Yeah,
it's these human freedoms, and he's only helping this institution by enforcing these like pact laws, right? It's not like he's really helping people, right?
Institution, you said. He's for sure institutionalized because he sees the truth right there. And what does he choose to do? He burns the truth because he feels more comfortable in the actual institution. It's hard for him to get out of that.
But it's also worth mentioning he rips up a page from the book too. So it's like he can't really escape it, right? There's a small part of him that wants to kind of believe what Julia is saying. But I think, like you said, and I mentioned, like, he's so institutionalized. It's like the comfortability of living in order outweighs the consequence of once you have freedom, what does that lead to, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he's a complicated character. And then also his wife, I think they are a matched pairing. She definitely has that type of institutionalized type of ideology, but she's still trying to help him out too. I could see there's a huge weight to this because to actually go against the system itself is a very dangerous thing, especially when you're in this kind of, not really, but kind of claustrophobic setting where there's only a certain amount of people there. I mean, that's your whole world you're going against. So I think his character is pretty authentic when they were also writing his character.
It's like the fear of knowing the truth, right? It's like when we go out to space and we don't know what's out there. It's like, do we really want to know? Right? It's like once you discover it, are you gonna like what you see? So maybe like when we say like ignorance is bliss, right? The comfort of not knowing something makes you want to stay within what you know.
Yeah.
It brings up that kind of like philosophical debate. That's why I like this show, because it plays like a lot of like dystopian themes that we see. But it instills it in like certain characters like Juliette, Paul, Sims, right? They're different cogs in this wheel of dystopian future, right?
Yeah, and it does feel like there's going to be a beginning of something always. Like there's this big revelation that's bound to hit the society, and once it does, there's no turning back. So there's something exciting about that. Exploring new frontiers, and that's why I think the show's pretty popular still. And I think that's why it's even if it's in a confined setting, the ideas it plays with is so huge and so adventurous that I think it could get people going for season 2. Now, let me get your thoughts also. There's this whole scramble between agents, and they're trying to find Juliette. She's like a monkey jumping everywhere. I thought, imagine she killed herself in the last one. No, but she survives, thankfully. And I love the fact that they don't know what a video is, because that's so like refreshing to see. Like, that's crazy. And they're surprised by this message. But let me get your thoughts on the actual chase itself.
Yeah, it's like a wild goose chase, and first I thought it was really cool that Julia is very resourceful in the first place that she goes to.
Yeah,
you would think it'd be like Parker or like mechanical, but they end up searching them, right, and they don't find her there. Whereas the first place she goes to is actually like her enemy's house, right? So I thought that was cool that she thinks that far ahead, right? And also I thought it was interesting too that Sims, he tries to look in the like the usual suspect spots, and he even goes to her father, and they have that conversation as fathers. And I love that Juliet's father wasn't really willing to, give any information up on her, and they have a nice debate where it's like Juliet's father is like, well, if this was your child, would you give her up? And Sims actually says yes, and I think that's interesting because the wife actually let Juliet go. So it's like, in a way, the wife actually like cares about human freedom, whereas Sims, in a way, only cares about this dystopian order. So I wonder if there's going to be like a conflict of interest there, like in the future. He's a very, very complex character. He's very empathetic in a lot of ways, but I feel like at the end of the day, he's just a like an enforcer type of character, right?
Yeah, everyone's just trying to. It's kind of like, well, we hear a lot about generations in the show of people, and he's just a product of his father, what he learned. I'm sure Billings is as well, of his family. Everyone's just trying to uphold this legacy, and that's why I think Holston was like that in the beginning, but he changed. And then, of course, Juliette is a little bit different since the beginning, right? So that's what stands her out, is she doesn't really conform to these rules. So I love the contrast between everybody. It's really dynamic. So this whole episode really was just like the chase and just the message from George. I think, again, the highlight is actually seeing Allison's footage. Let me get your thoughts on that.
I mean, I kind of expected that we were going to see that. I think you and I theorized that, what she saw was, I think they showed it too in one of the episodes when she walked out, and it was actually green.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's public knowledge now. It's gotten out, and Juliet knows it. She's already shown to other people, this footage. So once one person knows, it's like everybody's going to start to know, right? And then, like we said, it'll probably lead to like this big revolution. People are going to start questioning their environment and making these radical decisions. And I don't think it'll be within the control of Bernard and judicial to control information at that point. I mean, they could probably lie because they have control of like, what they see and what they hear. But at that point, it's like everybody will start. Once you plant the seed of suspicion into somebody, it's like it just grows from there. You can't really stop it. So it was cool, and I wonder like what other like things they're hiding like on that drive too. Yeah, great episode. I think. I guess the next one is the last one.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
So yeah, I think the last episode will definitely lead to this big, almost like rebellion. We'll definitely see like perhaps they'll escape the silo and then realize like outside. I still wonder if Holst and Allison made it out, or if they were just devices for us to see like what the outside world was like. And I want to see like them actually try to attempt to escape the silo. But any final thoughts for you?
Yeah, I think it's the outside is not what it appears to be. Those who read the novels and stuff would know more than I do. But from what I heard, there's a lot more surprises ahead and a lot of, turns and twists. I said that in a dyslexic way that that we're going to see. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for the next episode. I enjoyed this one. If I had to rate it, I'll probably give it a 9 out of 10. And also, guys, next episode is going to be episode 10 review, but we're also doing a season 1 review. So I just wanted to point that out there. But what would you rate this?
It felt like a very quick episode, actually.
Yeah.
We didn't get too much, but I think it was impactful in the fact that, we get the cliffhanger, we see the truth, right? Juliette is now an enemy of the state, right? And perhaps she'll be like this big like Joan of Arc character for like this revolution. So probably I'll give this episode like 8 out of 10 for me. Okay. But yeah, cool. Guys, that is our review for episode 9 of Silo. Check out all our other Silo episode reviews out now. You can watch it now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching our content, letting us know how we're doing. Leave a like, comment, sub, anything helps the channel. We just did a review for The Bear on Hulu. That was fun to review. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
See you guys.